And welcome back to 106.3 Star FM Stadium. Tony Parsons with Mark Roble. Mark, you've gone down and done your best to try and have a chat to both the coaches. How'd you end up?
Look, managed to grab some word out of the Townsville camp. Spartans were a bit late coming back in, but I'd imagine the Spartans will just be talking about more of the same, making sure they're continuing to play with that same level of intensity, moving the ball like they have, and they're all under control. The Flames, it's some key things they spoke about at half-time was their communication on the defensive end is non-existent. Their talk hasn't been great. And as we were talking about in commentary just before the start of the half, they've recognised that they've really got to move the ball over the split line a couple more times offensively, and that'll lead to those breakdowns of the Spartans' D and hopefully lead to some easier scores for them.
So 4 players for the Spartans in double figures. They've had some good contributors, haven't they?
Yeah, look, they have. And, that makes things really hard as a coach when you're down by this margin. You can't sort of go, look, we've got to lock this player down because they've got a lot of confidence. I think the Flames are hoping and relying on the fact that the Spartans won't shoot at 61% again in this half, and hopefully a few more misses, a bit of fatigue after the back end of the road trip might start to sit in, and they can just make a run at this thing and try and put some pressure back on this very well drilled and very professional Spartans group right now.
All right, second term about to get underway, and it's a 27-point lead for the Southern District Spartans. They lead at 56-29 at the main break. And 20 full minutes for Michaela Cox in that first half. And 17-49. So Darcy Garvin, she did find some shooting accuracy late in the second term, didn't she? She's now the Townsville's leading scorer with 12, but she's only 5 of 14.
Yeah, she got some touches late in that game, in that quarter that Garvin did. So they'll look to try and get back into that game, I would suggest, right from the start here.
Yeah, first possession of this third term is with Southern Districts. Anderson with possession. And
just a little adjustment there from Andrews. You already saw, like, Goodchild was beaten a bit through the middle there. Andrews just came to that ball a little bit earlier to force a pass, and through a good recovery was able to force a turnover in that corner.
So it's a good start to the second half. Brennan with possession for Townsville. That's with Garvin. Andrews, and that's a poor pass.
Yeah,
and a
well
turnover.
read by Haynes there. She saw that coming and just jumped in through that lane and forced the mistake from the Flames.
Haynes now with possession. Inside they go Bauer. And Bauer, poor pass then. Well, Darcy Garvin didn't have to do anything to get the turnover then. Down the floor come Townsville through Brennan. Outside Andrews for 3. Smokes it.
Spartans calling for a travel on that possession, but no call for them, and probably not a bad start for the Flames. So forced a couple of turnovers, got a couple of stops now.
And they've got a rebound. So a couple of turnovers and a rebound on the shot. And now Michaela Cox is down the floor. Inside she goes to Garvin. Garvin on Parham. Back outside to Cox. Got a good look for 3. Didn't drop for her. Garvin worked hard to get the rebound. Didn't fall her way. And that should be a Townsville possession.
A lot better energy and intensity out of the Flames, and this is what we've come to expect from them. So hopefully they can make a good dent into this margin and make this a game again.
Well, what do you see as a point as they drive? The 2 will count for Goodchild, and she'll go to the line for a bonus. Where do you see a scenario? And I know it's only early stages of the third term, and now it's a 22-point game, 27 at the break. Do you need to be under 20? Is that?
Oh, yeah, look, I think they probably have a number of around 15 probably in their head to try and get it somewhere near there. If you can halve that gap in the third quarter, then you're halfway there, and you can just try and use that momentum to run over the fourth quarter.
Bonus missed, but they do get the rebound, Townsville. Darcy Garvin has possession, and again, some good hustle there defensively. Townsville will get possession, but there's only 2 seconds left on the shot clock.
So hopefully they've got recognition here of the 2 seconds. The ref's just coming to check.
Yep, and 2's confirmed.
And just winding the clock down here and stopping back at the 2.
So the inbound will come from Cox, and they won't get a shot away. Unfortunately, some good D there, though.
Yeah, look, probably just Brennan might not have been expecting that to come to her on that cut. I think she looked like she was coming to screen more so than receive.
Southern Districts with possession, and Townsville scored the only points of this term. Parham, Taya, Haynes on the baseline. In she goes posting up as Taya. Doesn't get it, but Bauer gets the rebound. And they fight over it.
And look, the Flames, 3 times in that possession, just got beaten by simple face cuts. You know, the ball's moving, they're not jumping to the ball, and then those give and go opportunities are straight there, and that's just not what they would want at all right now.
Cox, and they get bailed out with a foul, and it's called on Rebecca Haynes.
Bauer, I think, on the little reach in first, yeah.
That might have been why a little bit, she looked a little nonplussed early on Rebecca Haynes. So Goodchild will have the inbound for Townsville.
So I think that's Bauer's 3rd foul now, so Coach Lewis will have to have a little bit of a think about whether she leaves her out there or not.
And that's a lot of pressure on the pass there to Darcy Garvin, and ultimately the shot wasn't a good one. It was a low percentage play. As Anderson goes baseline on Brennan, Bauer sets a screen for it. Now Bauer gets it. Backing in on Brennan, taking advantage of the height. Doesn't put it away, but will go to the line for 2.
Yeah, Brennan, every time they've made that little switch there and Brennan's ended up on Bauer, she's just struggled with that little height difference. And maybe the Flames just need to work a little bit harder on trying to battle through those screens and keep those matchups with Garvin on her.
And fair mobility too for her size, Bauer. She's not frightened.
No, she's very athletic build. Looks like she's relatively quick. She's played in a lot of countries over the years, and she's a very experienced professional player through a number of leagues in Europe. So not surprising that she's playing this well in this league.
Change for Townsville. Brennan will sit down, so too will Andrews. And Stella Beck and Fowler come back in. Both made at the foul line by Bauer. So it's a 60-34 ball game just at the present. So they've only eaten 1 point into that differential since half time, as Michaela Cox has possession. Darcy Garvin flicks it back out. Cox inside. She got absolutely barreled. I don't know if there's any better word to describe what happened to her.
Good little shot fake, put the ball on the floor. Haynes came with great urgency and went straight through her. So another foul for Haynes there. So that's only her 2nd at the moment, though.
And McDowell White back into the game. Anderson sits down for Southern Districts. And Townsville will get the inbound here. And don't know what they were. Hope they weren't teeth. Taya brought something to the bench. Garvin. Goodchild. Cox. Garvin on Bauer. Backing in on Bauer.
Nice little Euro step through there and just gave the baseline away. She came through and just nice little left-handed finish.
She's got 14 now. 12 now, Darcy Garvin. As working hard defensively here is Stella Beck. Nice pass and finish from Rebecca Haynes. That pass from Ashley Taya.
Yeah, look, great recognition from Haynes. Fowler was playing up in the lane outside the 3-point line. So just straight backdoor cut, automatic rule, and got the good feed.
And Townsville down the floor in transition. Don't get it. Now Rebecca Haynes down the floor. Bauer. Cross court. Parham, who's been a star tonight, turns it over. Put the curse on her. I'll have to do that a couple of more times. Goodchild down the floor in transition for Townsville. Garvin for 3. Rattled around. Didn't drop. Bauer with the rebound. And now Parham with the ball over half court. Steadies and waits for her teammates to join her at the offensive end. Ashley Taya. Bauer. Haynes goes baseline and draws the foul out of Goodchild. 2 don't count. It'll be a baseline ball for Southern Districts.
Switching D from Townsville again on those screens. They're just leaving themselves open right now to those potential mismatches down low. If that pass would have stuck, you would have had Bauer with Goodchild on her back down in the block. I think the Flames need to just battle through that a little bit harder and try and stick with their man.
Parham gets a spell, and Emily Preston back in for Southern Districts as they have possession. Bow goes left side, and it does go to McDowell White. Shot is short. Rebound is with Fowler for Townsville. Down the floor quickly in transition. Good work from Goodchild. Good defensive work also from Bow, and then strips her of possession. Great work.
Yeah, look again, Goodchild just getting too deep and then picking up the ball there. Made that error a couple of times now. She's got to learn to keep that alive and dribble out.
And there's a foul called. No, it'll be.
No, foot must have been on the sideline as she's tried to save that in there.
And substitution coming in for Townsville, but we'll have a timeout in the meantime.
Yeah, timeout to Districts. So, Coach Lewis, not entirely happy about the way they've come out and started this quarter, while the scoreboard hasn't changed dramatically as far as margin's concerned. That high shooting game that they had in the first half and just scoring at will has slowed right down to only 6 points so far in this quarter. So you'd imagine a little adjustment offensively here just to try and keep that ticking over.
Defensively, though, no great inroads from Townsville as far as Southern Districts are concerned, because they've only scored 7 themselves, Townsville.
Yeah, look, it's been turnovers and some poor shot choice, to be honest, Tony. Like that last possession after Goodchild went deep, the one after that, they've come down. Garbin's got the kickback from an on-ball screen and launched an early three. They probably just need to try and get some more attack at the rim right now, because they're just making life a little bit too easy for Spartans.
Well, Spartans come into this game with a 4-2 record, Townsville with a 7-0 record, but from what I've seen from Southern Districts tonight, the late inclusions of the imports, it certainly seems like they're a much better side than they were earlier in the season.
Yeah, look, they lost an early one at home. I think they lost to Southwest early in the season, and they're one of the top teams this year, and their other losses come against Ipswich, who are the other undefeated team. So they certainly haven't been playing badly, but the injection of these imports has certainly made them stronger.
Michaela Cox buries a 3. Desperately needed, and the lead is 23 for Southern Districts at 62-39.
The switch on the on-ball there, and Bauer just goes to work against the smaller Walsh.
And Taya now pulls up, and off the window it goes for 2 more. And Michaela Cox down the floor in transition, pulls up when she gets to Haynes, goes inside to Fowler. Fowler with the shot, and the rebound is with Southern Districts.
Couldn't exploit the mismatch on McDowell White there and just rush the shot a little bit.
Romy Bauer, deep in the corner is Haynes. And that's one of the few turnovers, and then Townsville turn it over. Fortuitously for Southern Districts. Haynes inside, left alone, got a shot away. It didn't go. Ashley Taylor from out in three-point land puts it away. 67-39, 3:40 left, third term.
They're just winning on the urgency stakes right now, Southern Districts, and I know that's something Coach St. Maurice will be really displeased with.
Even that turnover that got him that three-pointer just then through Ashley Taylor, it just looked clunky from Townsville, didn't it? Darcy Garvin with it, goes to look for the pass, and it rolls off the leg of a teammate into the hands of the Southern District side.
Yeah, just trying to bust out with a little bit of a dribble, and Fowler just running a bit too close, and you've got to give the player a bit of space there. So a little bit of a rookie error by Fowler, and just, got to make things easy right now and not compound it by throwing away easy ball.
Here are Townsville, and it's off Southern Districts, and we've only got 2 seconds left on the shot clock. Walsh into the fray for Townsville. As Michaela Cox will inbound.
So they'll look to throw the ball to Garvin off their screen here.
Good work. Anderson got the hands in there and forced the turnover. And they're down the floor in transition, Southern Districts. Anderson deep in the corner. Romy Bauer, she's done everything else tonight. Why not hit a 3?
Turnover, 3-on-2 break, just not enough urgency. And, the Flames have no chance of eating into this if they keep playing this way.
Well, it's now back out to 31. It's 70-39, 3:02 left in the third term. Lisa Brennan and Majella Carey come in for the first time tonight.
Yeah, look, trying some different lineups, seeing if we can find something that makes it stick a little bit.
Townsville with possession, though. And it is Cox. It was Darcy Gardner, one of the girls, to sit down. And off hands, another turnover, although a little bit of hustle there from Lisa Brennan. Got the ball back for Townsville. Shot clock was winding down. Cox shot from a long way outside the arc. Missed the three in transition. Here's Anderson on Cox. She's got some hands in there and draws the foul. 2:38 left third term. And for all the good work early in this term, Southern Districts have repelled that and have come back out. And the margin has grown again from 27 now to 31 in this term. Robbie Bear will inbound for Southern Districts. Anderson. And a lot of this work has been done as Anderson shoots the three and makes it, with their focal point being having sat down for some time, Parham.
Yeah, look, she got a good rest for a while there, and the team's just come back and ticked the ball over. So Flames just looking lost offensively at the moment, though, and that's not something that normally, Coach St. Maurice, he's more of an offensive-minded coach than a defensive-minded coach. So he's going back watching this film this week. He's going to be extremely frustrated by some of the things that they've done out there, where they've just taken shortcuts, been pushed out of where they want to be, and just made some poor choices.
And Hayley Andrews back in. Michaela Cox gets a spell.
Yeah, her first rest for the night, so she'll need that, and hopefully a couple of minutes spell here. She can come out, hit some threes to start off the next quarter, just to put some doubt back into the game.
Brennan makes the first and second of those foul shots.
Townsville into their 2-2-1 press here, so just trying to speed up the game a little bit.
Some hands in there from Stella Beck. Foul called. Fourth of the term, is it?
Yeah, correct, yes, yeah. So her first, so no foul trouble for her, but now Townsville drop back into a zone here.
Now Romy Bauer. And Parham goes inside to McDowell White. Left-handed hook shot, doesn't drop. And Andrews gets the rebound for Townsville. And she's down the floor in transition, pulls up, outside they go. Brennan, back to Andrews. Brennan, cross court, here's Beck. White mismatch with Bauer. She's towered over her. Here's Andrews driving to the hoop and getting the two off the window.
Yeah, some good patience, got the ball across the split line, got it high, then Andrews got on some penetration. See if Townsville's gone back to matching up here, so it's only zone for that one possession.
As an offensive, is it hooking foul?
Yeah, look, just Bauer extended the armbar a little bit there in front of the referee, and that's her fourth foul now, so she'll make her way to the bench, but it doesn't make it any easier. Taya comes back in to take her space.
And Anderson sits in the centre now as well. There's Brennan with possession. Carey. Walsh. Brennan. Andrews for three. Gets it.
Good movement. Found the extra pass. McDowell White had just slipped off a little bit too far there and given Andrews enough space to get that shot off.
There's a flicker of a heartbeat as Parham goes down the floor. McDowell White. Anderson. And the shot from Preston is good for two. 75-46 inside the final 45 seconds of the third term. Andrews for Townsville. Brennan. Brennan goes to take on Preston. Overcooks the shot. And Parham with the rebound for Southern Districts. Off to Ashley Taya. And there's about a 6 seconds differential.
Anderson, another three. Just blows it out to over the 30 again. Once Townsville just chipped it away a little bit under.
But they've got the last five. Yeah. Here's Andrews again, who's trying to inject some life into this. As Taya misses with the last shot of the term. 78-46 at three-quarter time. Southern Districts just continuing to get on with the job and doing it quite well.
Yeah, look, just 4 shots there, Andrews made that left-hand layup from the top of the keyway a couple of possessions ago, but that came off about 20 seconds of good possession where they'd moved the D around. She was able to then expose a poor closeout and get on the rim and attack. That possession there coming down transition, no pass offense. Spartans playing really good containment, just keeping their hands out and taking the hit in the chest and forcing bad shots under a hand. So the Flames will obviously need to just absolutely set the world alight here to start off this quarter to be any chance. They need to take gambles anywhere possible. Points margin doesn't really count in these games because they're non-pool play, so it doesn't matter if they lose by 30 or if they lose by 50 or 60 right now. They've got to try and take some risks to do something to try and change this game to give themselves any chance. Try and force Coach Lewis to call a timeout within the first couple of minutes of this quarter just through some panic.
They're still shooting at 62%, those Southern Districts. So you've got Ashley Taylor, 17 points, along with Anderson, 17 points. But both those, like Taylor's shooting at 58, but Anderson has missed one shot. She's shooting at 85% for that 17 points. You've got Rebecca Haynes with 13, Parham with 12, and both those players sat down for a good period of that third term as well. They did get a good spell. In fact, Parham has played 22 and 3/4 minutes of the 30, and Rebecca Haynes has played almost 21 of the 30 minutes. So they've had some good contribution outside of that pair, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. It's been a complete team effort from them so far. It hasn't been one-dimensional. You talk about those shooting percentages. The Flames are actually shooting at a better percentage from the 3 right now than what they are the 2. So might see a bit of jacking shots to start off this quarter and see if they can make a dent.
Here's Anderson. Ashley Taylor with possession. Goes to Anderson. Shoots a long 2 and makes it. So she's now 7 of 8.
The Flames trying to just junk and trick a little bit there, coming out and showing zone and then switching to a man after the first pass. But that just gave Anderson that split second she needed to get free.
Townsville with possession. Garvin. Beck. On Haynes. Brennan. Quick release on the pass, and it's a 3-second violation against Darcy Garvin, who is not happy. She's like the kid that's lost the chocolates. Not
happy. She was in there for a long time, though, so it's just one of those situations where nothing's gone their way.
And a forced turnover there by Townsville. Some good defence by Stella Beck, forcing that rush pass from Taya. So now Townsville with possession. Andrews down the lane, off the window, gets the 2.
Well, look, I know that's not much different to that last possession, but just simply coming off an on-ball screen and making the D have to adjust somewhat, it just opens up the lane a tiny bit more.
Southern Districts through McDowell White. To Taya. Right side. It's Parham, and lost a footing. Didn't get a foul call, then turned it over because the shot clock had wound right down. Michaela Cox on the quick transition, doesn't get the shot. Garvin gets the rebound, doesn't get the shot. And Ashley Taylor ends up with the rebound for Southern Districts. So Parham with possession now for the visitors. It's 80-48. Garvin with some hands in there from behind and called for a cheap foul. She's had an unhappy night in general. Like she had a little spurt there towards the end of the second term that got her some cheap points, but outside of that, probably not at her best tonight so far.
She's had to work hard, and this district's team are fairly sizable across the floor. So she's not having those big mismatches that she gets in some other games when teams switch and she ends up with a smaller guard and make things a lot easier for herself. All this district's team play very physically and play straight up, and that's made her life really hard.
And one of the few turnovers, they've had a couple in the first couple of minutes of this final term, but that's something they've done well, is looked after possession, haven't they, Southern Districts?
When you look after possession and you shoot the ball at 60+%, you're going to win basketball games.
Yeah. That's not rocket science, is it?
No.
Here's Garvin, got away from Parham, and again, it doesn't drop. She fights hard to try and get a rebound. Ashley Taylor ends up with it. It's just not happening for Garvin. Haynes on Brennan. She got some hands in there, knocked it away. But Anderson has it, gets it to Parham, and there's a foul called on Michaela Cox. 7:41 left this final term. And it's been 80-48 for a little while in favour of Southern Districts.
And look, this is, Coach St. Maurice is going to have to start making some decisions soon. The game, you would suggest, is well and truly gone right now. It would take a minor miracle. So do you start playing around and, get Garvin out of the game, get Cox out of the game so that you're not risking, overplaying them, anything unfortunate happening. You need to start thinking about, the management of those players right now. Have played a lot of minutes last weekend and then backed it up tonight.
Here's Hayley Andrews for Townsville. Garvin will shoot a three. It's short. Parham with the rebound. And over the half court come Southern Districts. Rebecca Haynes with possession. Anderson. Ashley Taylor, who's been very good tonight, but I don't know that any of their starting five haven't been good, Mark. Here's Rebecca Haynes. Two more. They've all been good, their starting five.
Not just their starting five, though. The girls that have come in off the bench have done a great job. McDowell White's controlled the game when she's been in. Preston's been good. Curvin was good as well. There really hasn't been a weak link for them out there this evening.
They shoot a three, Townsville, and then Lisa Brennan on the rebound loses the handle on it, goes out of court. It'll be a Southern Districts ball from the baseline. A couple of changes for Townsville. Goodchild. Also Walsh and Al Fowler come in. Southern Districts with possession now. Haynes, they get the ball over half court in time. They do. Romy Bauer back into the game too. Also for Southern Districts, her pass to Haynes, and Haynes misses the two. And Michaela Cox with the rebound. Screen set for her by Garvin. Inside she goes. Nice pass, Fowler. Can't put it away though off the window. And Romy Bauer with the rebound for the visitors.
Fowler, like Garvin, just struggled a little bit with that extra length from some of those players. And they just can't make those little cheapies around the rim tonight.
And I think they've tripled their turnovers or doubled their turnovers in this final term, Southern Districts. As they make a change, Preston comes in for Haynes.
Garvin goes to the bench with Magella Carey coming back in there.
Six minutes left, final term. Sorry, Mark.
Yeah, look, unfortunately, this game's probably not worked out anywhere near what we thought it was going to be at the start of the game. I was really looking forward to a really close contest. I thought it was going to be a cracker of a game, but the Spartans just took that away with such a great defensive display in the first quarter particularly, and then shot the ball so well out of that good D.
And it was very early on where the damage was done, when it was 19-2 early on.
Yeah, and that's, we've talked about that hasn't happened to the Flames all year, so they'll need to adjust and address their start for next week, because we've seen that they haven't handled really well coming from behind, so they need to make sure that next week I think they've got a double road trip away with Logan and Ipswich, I think it is. So Logan has probably not played the way that they've wanted to so far this season. I think they're sitting a little bit below 500, but Ipswich will likely walk into that game still undefeated, so it doesn't get easier for them.
So the extra is missed by Fowler after she made the shot. It's 84-52. And a turnover by Southern Districts. Michaela Cox. Geez, Romy Bauer did very well there defensively. It was 2-on-1 and she still forced the pass.
Yeah, she did. And I think Cox probably just overpassed that there. I think Fowler got her the ball back in a nice spot. She should have just taken the layup, but unselfishly tried to move it on. And
she's done too for the night, Romy Bauer. Is that her fifth foul?
Yes, yeah, so she exits the game.
And McDowell White.
We'll have a timeout here for Districts, I think.
So 32 points, 5:04 left in the final term. Bauer out. But I know you mentioned they've had some good contributions from the bench as well, but the starting five out of the blocks early, led 19-2 in that first term. when Townsville was struggling to get decent shots away, let alone shots. And they just did the job early, and they haven't recovered from that damage that was done in the opening 3 or 4 minutes of the contest.
Well, and you look at their stats, every starter, double figure, 15 points Haynes, 17 for Taya, 14 for Parham, 19 for Anderson, and 13 for Bauer. You know, they've all done a exceptional job, whereas if you look at the starters for Townsville right now, you've got Brennan with only 2, Goodchild with 6, Andrews with 10, Cox with 15, and Garvin with 12. But you know, Cox and Garvin have got those double points out of a combined 32 shots. So it hasn't come easily at all for them on the offensive end. And
with Southern Districts, you mentioned the contribution from their bench and McDowell White and Preston in particular. McDowell White coming off the bench has still played 25.5 minutes as well.
Yep. No, very complete, and I think if I was preparing for a game against the Spartans now with the addition of these imports, I'd be needing to step up my game a lot to try and find a way to break this team down, and particularly on the defensive end.
Goodchild just hitting a 3, and then Michaela Cox giving a foul away. So 84-55, and it'll be an inbound from the side for the visitors. And here's Parham. Back outside she goes. Ashley Taya.
Another 3.
87-55 down the floor. Kerry off hands. Inside they go to Fowler off Walsh. And it's second team foul. No, it is the 4th team foul. So it'll be a baseline ball for Townsville. And off the back, Cox goes off the back of Preston, and that will be waved away. Parham got a little bit ugly in the air.
Yeah, foul called there, and Goodchild probably just needs to learn that once she had Parham in the air there, just throw an attempt at the rim, so that way you can get yourself to the foul line. Didn't quite execute that properly, and so it ends up being a sideline out of bounds.
No, 5 team fouls, so she
fouls,
ultimately does go to the line. So she makes the first of 2. And misses the second one. Rebound, though, with Ashley Taylor after come off the fingertips of Michaela Cox. McDowell White, Parham, and she'll wait for her troops. Goes back to McDowell White. Preston for 2. 89-56, just a little bit over 4 minutes left of this final term. Townsville with possession. And another turnover, and a cheap one too. McDowell White down the floor in transition on Walsh and puts it away, and it's now 91-56. It's a complete turnaround of a side that's been scoring in those 90s to now be on the receiving end of one of those, Mark. Yeah, we've seen more scores going the other way in this game. And at half time when I walked in, I tried to get down and see some coaches. Some people who were late in tonight walked past me and they thought the score was the wrong way around when they first walked in. So the home fans will definitely be disappointed, and that's really tragic because the women's game has probably got its biggest crowd for the year in here tonight, and unfortunately the Flames haven't put on a good display for them. Taya misses the 3, but Anderson gets the rebound for Southern Districts. Parham. Just looking to ISO on Walsh here and draws the D, kicks to Taya on the opposite wing, and a rare miss for Taya the way she's shot the ball. Substitutions coming back in for Townsville. We see Andrews, Harriet Carey coming in, I think, for her first minutes tonight, and Garvin coming back into the game. So the sisters are on. Harriet's still at school, obviously. And we see for the first time tonight, or she was about to come in, Donnelly, but hadn't prepared herself properly, still earrings in the ears, so she's missed out on that opportunity, and now Curvin's come in instead. What a way not to come in. Garvin, Harriet Carey, and her first possession is a turnover, unfortunately. And Southern Districts back down the floor in transition. Anderson on Andrews. Little tip pass to Taya. Preston sets the screen. She pulls up at the foul line, misses the 2. Rebound goes through the hands of Anderson, but ends up with Curvin. As Preston has possession now for the visitors. McDowell White on Andrews. Shot doesn't drop, and Carey gets a rebound. Harriet does for Townsville. And Hayley Andrews now with possession. Harriet Carey deep in the corner for 3. Misses. And the rebound is with Anderson.
I think these last 2 minutes can't go quick enough for Coach St. Maurice here. He just wants this over and done with.
It still sits at 32, which the lead was at three-quarter time. Ashley Taya, Anderson. Nice pass. Taya misses what she should have made. And Harriet Carey gets another board.
Yeah, just maybe fatigue setting in a little bit for Taya here. She's missed her last couple of jump shots, rushed that shot, backing up after a game last night.
Majella Carey back out to Harriet Carey, who gets the 3. Just as the shot clock wound down.
The substitutions here for Southern Districts. Paige Bayliss coming in for her first minutes, and Donnelly getting her opportunity to come into the game now.
So McDowell White with possession for Southern Districts. Guarded by Goodchild. And nice work there from Harriet Carey. Knocks the ball out of court on the pass that was intended for Anderson. And 12 seconds left on the shot clock. It'll be a Southern Districts ball from the side. Inbound pass goes to Bayliss with her first touch. Anderson for 3. It's deep and it's good.
Great range from Anderson. The defence just got caught up a little bit in a switch under that ball screen, and she took full advantage.
So Anderson now shot 8 of 9 for 22.
And 5 of 6 from the three-point line. So good job with the rebound there, going up strong and drawing a foul, earning herself a trip to the stripe.
So we're inside the final 60 seconds. It's a 32-point lead to Southern Districts, and it's been basically high 20s and above since midway through the second term. Here's Goodchild at the foul line. Misses the first of 2. Makes the second one. So McDowell White with possession for Southern Districts down the floor on Goodchild. Here's Anderson again. Oh, off balance. Has now made 9 of 10. That's insane.
Another tough bucket, but when you're feeling it, you're feeling it. And she's just obviously enjoying these Townsville rims.
Absolutely. Surely she wasn't entitled to score that last possession. But if it's happening, isn't it?
You wouldn't have thought so, but just looking ahead to next week, and as we talk about Townsville on that road double, Southern Districts play host to the Mackay team next weekend. So that's a replay of last year's women's grand final series. Things probably haven't been going the way for Mackay that they would have expected. Trying to get back into the 8 at this stage. I think they're sitting just outside. But the Spartans will be full of confidence back at home after this double win away on the weekend.
Absolutely. So they're probably their last possession, and there's an off-ball foul called on Casey Donnelly, so she does get on the stat sheet. It's a foul.
So last 10 seconds here.
Majella Carey, Darcy Garvin pulls up, shoots, and that's been the story of the night, and Carey with the rebound.
Little putback by Carey, and that's game over, and the Flames end up going down by 29 points, which would surprise a lot of people out there, a lot of spectators, but all the credit tonight needs to go to Southern Districts. They defended very well, took the Flames out of everything that they were trying to do in the first half. and then just shot the ball really well and took the game away within the first 5 minutes.
All right, so probably the first term was the catalyst. 19-2 was that big lead early in the contest. From there was no chance or opportunity because they really just grabbed the game by the scruff of the neck and choked the life out of the offense of Townsville.
Yeah, they did. And so you look at the first quarter, 27-12, second quarter, 29-17, third quarter, 22-17. Like that's the accumulation of points there, 27, 29, 22, is just way too much for the Flames to give up defensively. And then because of that, they've relied so heavily throughout the season so far in their running game, and their running game was just completely non-existent tonight. They weren't able to get those turnovers or get those quick stops and then push the ball down the floor really hard in transition, and then got really slowed up in the half court. So I'm sure the rest of the teams watching this tonight, or the coaches when they go away and watch, what's the blueprint for trying to slow the Flames down, the Spartans have certainly shown one tonight.
Well, the flip side of that is not what they can do to stop the Flames, but ultimately the Spartans are the real deal again.
Yeah, they are, and look, there was probably no doubt that they were going to be the real deal. As we said, the two losses they've had so far, Southwest, who I think sitting third on the ladder at the moment, only with one loss, which was to Townsville last week, and Ipswich, who are undefeated as well. So the two losses they've had have certainly been no embarrassment, particularly being under strength as they have been. So it's probably just that win, I would suggest, is going to really send a bit of a shockwave through the rest of the women's teams and put them on notice.
Absolutely. All right, 96-67, the final score. Southern Districts defeating the Townsville Flames. For the Southern Districts, Anderson with 24, Taya with 20, Haynes with 15, Parham 14 and Bauer 13. They were the players in double figures. For Townsville, they had 4 players in double figures. Michaela Cox with 15, Andrews and Garvin with 12, and Goodchild with 11. But as we've spoken about repetitively, the damage was done in the first term. So at the end of the first game here tonight, we'll be back just closer to 8 o'clock for the second game, the men's game between Southern District Spartans and the Townsville Heat. But in the ladies' game, it's been the Southern District Spartans victorious 96-67 over Townsville. Mark, thank you.
Thank you, Tony.